Okay, we are back going live, looking at some Lubomyr Melnyk pieces. Um, I noticed in the last two live stream videos I had, the microphone kind of works like a compressor. So if it gets really loud, the volume comes down. Um, if it's relatively quiet, the volume kind of stays the same. Um, I got an audience to nobody, but if anybody happens to stumble upon this and kind of knows how to fix that, I'm using my MacBook Air's internal microphones, so maybe it's something that I'm going to have to do in the settings for my MacBook as opposed to something on YouTube. But if anybody happens to know how I might be able to turn that off, I remember there was a feature when you're doing Zoom meetings that allowed you to kind of turn that compressor type thing off. Let me know. Put it in the comments. Reach out to me. I'd love to hear how to fix that. But in the meantime, we're going to try and go through these ones. I'll try and keep the volume low so it doesn't hit too hard, but I'm wasting time talking. Let's try and set this up. All right, so try to remember how to go through this. So it seems to me like this is kind of like Haddon exercises, but just kind of in Lubomyr form. Because this piece, it's written in numbered sections. So I can practice this. And it seems like it kind of all circles back. So I feel like this is kind of like if you learn all the numbered pieces, you can hop in back and forth depending on what moves a little bit smoothly and what doesn't. But the first one I just played is 1, and then I try to switch to 2 kind of on memory. It's been a while since I looked at the score, maybe like a week. But I'll just try to do number 2 now. So number 2 just changed a little bit and kind of goes. So that's number 2. It's 9 bars, which is kind of weird. Neither here nor there, but if you know. I think if I lob off that 9th bar, it goes back into it because the first bar is this, and then the 9th bar is. So I think if I ignore that 9th bar, if I'm at least practicing loops, because I think it does go into section 3 of this, which longer section, kind of scary, but we'll take it piece by piece. So we're getting into number 3 now. Number 3 looks like it's Where's 4 start? Number 3 looks like it's 6, 11, 16 bars, and there's a spot in the middle. So we'll take it again piece by piece, and the other thing is, on some of these, I marked it before where it's not. It's not. It's D sharp, so it's. And I don't know. I guess it just has kind of color to it. I feel like you can kind of ignore it because it's in kind of unique spots. I feel like you can ignore it. I'm gonna choose to ignore it. We're just gonna play the E instead. That time I lied. Now that part trips me up because I feel like it's anticipated. So I'll start from the second half of this. Right there. Then it goes up into section 4. But okay, let's go slow first 3 sections, maybe. Let's see what happens. Could be absolutely horrible, but we have to try and string this all together. So let's go slow. It would help if I remembered. Hold on, I think I'm missing something too. So, left hand. Yeah, so that's all right. Okay, so the last 2 bars are the E shape. Not the B D shape. So again, just another note to make. The stylus wants to come out. Why did I do it on the top? Sure, let's do it on the bottom measure. Just make a little line. Do a little of that. How's my audience of 0 going? Great. Nice for you to join us. Okay, let's start from the beginning again. And we're 10.5 minutes into this. All right. Why am I always messing it up where it goes? Did it again. Come on. Shake it off. There we go. Okay, that felt a little good. And I actually did the D sharp. So I think it's, if you're going through this, you might have to just maybe just hear it out. I feel like, the instructions, note, because this score is a transcription of the live performance, the left hand shown may sometimes be too irregular for you to play. Therefore, you're free to alter note patterns in the left hand if you need to. Feel free to play only sections of the piece at a time. You can start and end anywhere you like, and also note that the main accents on the right hand are on beat 1 and secondly beat 3. Pedals down non-stop. Yeah, so I feel like with this piece, you can kind of hop and jump. My phone is going off. I don't know why. We're going to put on Do Not Disturb mode. I got to get back to this. That's one of my biggest killers is I always check my phone. I'm trying to do something. I think having this video and saying to myself, hop on in, completely, it's one less distraction. I feel like I owe it to whatever camera, whatever is in to hop on in. So, oh my God, you're in. You're my first audience member ever. Nice to see you. This is the moving window. I don't know if you know this piece. It's in the erase tape sheet music book. And I don't know if there's an actual recording of it unless you get it from the download code from the book. But in any case, I'm going through the beginning of it. I think I'm going to try and do a waiting a little bit later. Feel free to hang or not. Let me get to this. watch this says, I while away a few hours in my college's practice rooms. You'll never guess whose pieces I'm playing. I don't know. I wish I had that experience. I actually, when I got out of college, I took risks on Amazon and I bought Philip Glass Etudes. But I always had a bad time picking repertoire when I was in college. And, I bounced around a lot. It was some classical stuff, it was some pop stuff. I really like jazz chords and, kind of pop chords, kind of doing stuff like that. I have the real book right here. But it took me a lot of digging to find music that I really enjoy. Um, I wish I had that music when I was in college because I'd be able to be in an environment that, catered to it and be around people who also would be interested into it. It wasn't until after college and I was kind of out on my own, just meandering through contemporary uh, literature, contemporary repertoire, that I found pieces that I really like. Like one I really want to try and ace is that's Jan Tiersen Pern. But yeah, you're my first audience member. I don't want to ramble on too much. I want to try and get to this, try and give you a little bit of a show. Give me a thumbs up if it sounds good. Give me literally any other emoji if it sounds kind of wishy-washy over the compression. But yeah, more power to you, man, for knowing Lubomyr stuff in college. I saw your concert. I thought that was great. You keep at it what you're doing, man. I think it's great. I'm just going through 3 sections here. Going to try and get it clean. The 4th section actually looks really, really hard. That the left hand jumps up, so it's. And that's hard just because you go down first and then up in the middle. So maybe I'll save 4 for a little bit, but let's just try and do 1, 2, 2, 3. Come on. That felt good. That one felt good. Moving window isn't easy. I haven't mastered it yet. The trouble is that it was all senseless and high level for Lubomyr, and he just played. But we have to jump into his mind. I think you're onto something with that because I think, I remember reading your comment when you were doing your concert. You mentioned you're like, I opened my eyes and kind of lost where I was, and I think if you're familiar with like flow states, that's I think kind of what Lubomyr's into when he's playing. He basically, I think in interviews he talks about like my hands, they just started doing their own thing, and I wasn't worried about anything else. And it seems like, what I think what pattern work does is it allows you to see whatever that next move is as far as your playing goes. So like when you watch a game of chess, right? I think a chess player is looking at the entire board, and when they make one move, they're thinking about the next 10 that are possible. And I think Lubomyr's come up with a system in a way to do that towards piano and kind of understand, like, okay, I'm feeling the next move is coming by. And, the second, you are too aware of it, you trip up. It's like if you've ever thought to yourself, like, how to walk right foot in front and left foot in front, you trip yourself up. But if you just do it, you're fine. And I think that's kind of the mentality he gets at when he's doing pattern work. Basically, can you just move your hands and treat them in such a way that you're just moving to the next thing? You're not, it's like water. I think he uses that phrase a lot. And I think learning that kind of a thing, especially as like somebody who like plays jazz or, whatever, understanding that it's like, just let your hands go and it's going to be okay. I think he's good at doing that. I don't know. That's a pattern I like doing. What are we? We're 21 minutes into this. Let's go to. I said I'll do a waiting. So a waiting is pretty. It's a slow one. I think he actually writes about that in the book. I scanned it into my iPad. Not going to share it, but I scanned it into my iPad, and this one, goes pretty slow. But the sight reading on the left hand seems to be a little wonky for me. But this one. It's not C minor. It's I jazzed it up. There we go. And now this is where it starts getting. I put a line in here because this is kind of the second half of the song, and that's not it. Like that's 4, and then 5 is E flat. Come on. flat, B flat, B flat. Back to the easy bar. I'm going to jinx myself. Now this is where it just gets hard. I'm definitely gonna have to practice offline. Right? No, I'm on B flat. Let's see. Yeah, that's right. What do you think that's the best part of the song when he goes into thirds? But I'm getting way too slow on that. Let's go back to practicing where I drew the bars in. So it's a tough piece of ciphering. There's a lot of I wouldn't expect a lot of where the fingers are numbered, the notes are numbered. A lot of them just seem weird. I don't know. Well, I'll come across an example when we get through it, but I digress. What am I doing? Ah, that one got me. I thought I had it. It goes to E flat. Okay, that was better. Got me right here. Which I love that piece. I hope one day I play that piece in its entirety. That's back a roll. That one trips me up every time. The E flat. Yeah, back roll was the first sheet music I got. I think yeah, I first heard Lubomyr off the Fallen Trees album. And then the first two tracks on there, I get through, and then back roll just sounds. It comes in, and it's just such a immediately heavy piece. Just and I heard that, and it was like cinematic. I think is a really great word to describe it. But like in my head, I could hear a battle in Lord of the Rings when I hear Baccarol. And I guess the way it was recorded, certain microphones, you can hear other versions of Baccarol, but I think that version off the Fallen Trees record is probably one of my favorite Lubomyr tracks. Probably one of my favorite. Oh, when I say get through, like I think the first track is it's one with I'm gonna butcher it. It's like Hades Noi. When I say get through, like you know, I think they're good tracks, but Back Row I think is just blows my mind every time I hear it. And then the Fallen Trees suite after that, I think really kicks it in a high gear. I like those tracks. It's like pizza, it's good no matter what. But Back Roll is probably one of my favorite tracks. Fallen Trees is one of my favorite tracks. I don't know. I'm gonna gotta load up iTunes now and check the other tracks off the record. Yeah, Back Roll and the Fallen Trees Suite are excellent. Like I think part one of the Fallen Trees Suite is amazing. I think I asked him to try to score that and I just fell through, but I think they're lovely pieces. When I say get through, I mean um, not like looking at any of the scores or anything. I think he only scored Back Roll. I think you can only buy Back Roll off his website, and I think you would probably have to ask if he would score another one for you. But I think I'm trying to remember if Son of Parasol is anything like regular Parasol. Something like that. I think that's how Parasol goes. It's been a while since I've heard it. But yeah, when I say get through, I don't mean playing it on sheet music. Maybe it was just a bad choice of words. Forgive me. They were either never written or lost. I think if you've ever found Lubomyr's Twitter, it's a sight to behold. But I do remember one time I think he had an offer, and I think he was offering 5 figures to any pianist who could play. It might have been windmills. Look into that. I think he tweeted out basically a challenge and said, for any classical pianist out there who wants to take this on and play windmills in such a fashion, I'll give you like $20,000 or something like that. Like I remember that happening on tweets, but yeah, it kills that so many of this is kind of just lost in time. And I know that he uses a certain software to score a lot of his pieces. Like it was like a notation software I've never heard of before. But that's how he's able to do kind of like the continuous and make the symbols and things like that, like the arrows to go forward and like a squiggle arrow and things like that. But I think a lot of it is, a lot of good. Trying to think how Power Soul goes. It's something like that. I have to listen to that song. I haven't listened to it in a very long time. But yeah, let me try and get through this section of Awaiting again. If you're even still here. I keep doing F. It's E flat. No, the first one is F. The second one is E flat. Okay. G. So, okay, it wasn't E flat, it was G. flat. It's B flat. Come on now. So it's a little like that. I have back roll on here. Let me see. Let me see if I can remember it. I can get to it until you break away from the main theme. So if it was like verse chorus, if it was like intro verse chorus verse chorus, the second it gets to a bridge is kind of when I stop playing it, and that's kind of one of the plateaus I'd like to break. But his left hand on this. I still warm up with that, just move it around. So come on now. Come on now. Oh, I'm thinking about it too much. Forgive me. No, it's G. Come on. That felt good. I think I'm trying to think just how to organize all this kind of stuff because I have a lot of music that I want to play. I have a lot of music that I just kind of want to sight read through. I have exercises that I want to get through. I think the moving window is a good exercise piece. Um, yeah, so I have like my heavy hitter set list. I have a set list of um, my old composer teacher. I want to get through his stuff. I feel like I owe it to him. And then pieces that I just like, short pieces. They don't have to be so grandiose. Like this is a slow piece. I think it really builds up in the end. I think it's a good um, art piece as opposed to a technical piece. I think it really just brings out emotion. Um, I think the hardest part on this one is going to be when we start introducing 16th notes. Um, I'm going to have to, I think, break out the metronome on that one and take it section by section. But I think as far as sight reading goes on that one big section between I think the 23rd measure and the 55th, it's good. It's coming along. I think I'm finding the places that would trip me up, but yeah. So that's a waiting and moving window and I don't know some other stuff. I don't know. I like these live streams because they keep me a little focused. But again, if you have comments on how to properly set up a practice regimen, and maybe I should set smaller goals, or if the sound sucks, let me know, and I'll maybe look into it. I'll see what I can do. But it was nice chatting a little bit. You are my first live stream guest, I guess. Welcome to the party. Hope to hear from you soon. Thanks. Bye.